There's my reversing ring that I 3D printed. Part of it I got off Thingiverse. This part from here up, from there to there. I got that off Thingiverse. What it does, connects that lens backwards. So obviously that is how it usually attaches to the camera, and there it is backwards. The ring attaches to the camera, and then as you can probably see, the little red ring was on the other end before. There's the end that usually connects to the camera with all the little contacts and things on it. Careful not to touch them or damage them or anything. The only thing, you don't have connection between all the electronics in the lens and the camera. So the iris is just wide open all the time. So here's a view of the screen on the camera. You can see I've got something in front of it there. What is that? What is it? Oh, that's disgusting. It's a pair of tweezers. And no, I don't use them for picking my nose. I use them for digging filament off the end of the printer nozzle. And they've been dipped in PCB etching fluid and all kinds of nasty stuff. You can see how far away from the lens that is, and I've got this set to about what, 40 millimeters, 45, something like that. On 18 that would have to be even closer, and at 200 you can have it a bit further away. The focus ring does kind of work. So this is the focus ring on the Sigma lens. It does do a little bit of something, but it's nowhere near as coarse of an adjustment as it would be if the lens was on the other way around. To get a coarse focus, you've got to move the object, physically move it further away. Then once you get it kind of a little bit in focus, you can use the focusing ring as a fine tuner. It worked. It's not perfect. It's supposed to lock onto the end of the lens, but it doesn't, because I didn't make the little cutouts big enough. And to use it, the camera has to be on a tripod. You can't handhold it. I've tried. The only other thing, if you have a built-in flash, you can't use it because the lens gets in the way. So I'm using just a torch. This one has an adjustable beam that you can change, and also different brightness settings. See there? Camera set to RAW, so even if the picture doesn't come out perfectly, you can kind of adjust a little bit later. So this is the file that I downloaded from Thingiverse. So this is an EF mount, but it's got this, which I think means it's an EFS mount for crop censored cameras, so not full frame ones. And I used from there to there, I used that part. So there's mine. I've cut that thing off just because I didn't want to risk it getting in the way. I didn't know how tall it was. It would fit my camera theoretically with it on there. And this part here I just measured the end of my lens and made a little ring. And joined it. So I'm no 3D printing expert. Obviously I've gone through a few iterations. This one was the first one that I printed out, and the ring was too small because reasons. Probably I forgot to measure it or what, but it didn't fit any of my lenses. So I have no idea what I was thinking when I made that ring. So I decided to use this one as a strength test, how much force it would take me to break that ring off, and took a little bit, but probably not as strong as I would have liked. That's the good one. That one is another one that is a bit too big to fit over the filter, and not big enough to fit over the lens hood bayonet mount, so the lens would just fall out. This one, I've obviously made that a bit thicker, and I've got cutouts which were supposed to hold onto the bayonet mount. They don't, but that one is still tight enough as a friction fit to actually work. This one, well, yeah, that part's quite easy to remove. So I don't know whether that's my printer or this particular filament, but I mean, that itself is quite strong. It's flexible. I think it only snapped there because it puts all the joins in a row. The slicer I'm using lines up all the joins, but otherwise this is quite strong and flexible. The other thing that makes it a little bit weak, you can just see how the infill isn't quite touching the perimeters. So I need to adjust my slicer a little bit. There's little gaps between the infill and the perimeter, so that is probably contributing to the weakness.